Obviously, being an influencer, right, or being anywhere in the public eye, maybe even you yourself, when you post something online, you get some weird comments sometimes, maybe a hate comment here and there, maybe a disagreeable comment occasionally, but you know what? It's all part of the, as I say, process. You know what I mean? It's part of a job, right? When I tell you, I received the most unhinged, craziest comments the other month, I think it was, and I remembered I just screenshotted them on my phone because I was like, I need to talk to people about this because it all stemmed from one thing. Trigger warning, we have talk about weight, birth control, gender, miscarriage, ovaries. What else? I don't know why I need a trigger warning, but I'm just trying to think of everything this person has spoke about. So it doesn't go too into gender identity, abuse, and this is all about a toner, okay? I made this reel, and I made it on and I posted it on Instagram and I posted it on TikTok, and you probably saw me post it here as well on Shorts. Let me just play it for you. Let me put this mic down. Let me just play it for you so you understand. Well, no, I don't think you understand how the comments happen because they're crazy, but this is where it all stemmed from. This is what I posted. I do not care. I don't care. Let me tell you why I don't care. With all due respect, career's great. Congratulations. This isn't to undermine estheticians in any way, but let me tell you why I don't care for my content, right? I don't give skincare advice. I never give skincare advice. This is my twin brother, by the way, James. Two different people. He does skincare, I do makeup. But when I'm talking about skincare, I'm a professional makeup artist and have been for, what are you on now, 21 years, 22 years? When it comes to skincare, whether I've been gifted it, whether I bought it, whether I've purchased it, when I think about or talk about skincare on my social media and in my job as a professional makeup artist, I'm constantly thinking about how that skincare is going to affect makeup, the longevity of the makeup, the texture of the makeup, the texture of the skin. I always think about how it's going to sit on my clients, on the model's skin, and how it's going to help the wear of their makeup. How's it going to help you be less oily? More oily, more moisture? How is it going to help the texture of your skin so that foundation looks less textured on the skin? That's what I'm talking about when it comes to skincare. That's what I care about. So I'm never going to give you advice on skin treatments, the longevity of the results of a certain item of skincare. That's not my job. That's not my profession. That's not my expertise. I'm going to tell you if there is a toner that does multiple things, hydrates, tones, so you don't have to use a moisturizer, a serum, a primer underneath your foundation if you're oily, because that helps your foundation last longer and get less oily. So if that toner exists, I'm going to recommend it to you. I'm going to tell you about a sunscreen that makes a great primer for your foundation, so you can wear sunscreen under your foundation without worrying about the excessive skincare ruining your makeup that day. Eye creams that sit great under eye makeup, whether or not an esthetician thinks wearing an eye cream or a toner is important. I'm thinking about the result under your makeup. So what an esthetician has to say, I just don't care. Because I know, as a professional makeup artist who has done thousands of faces, I know that using a gel-based eye cream will sit better under eye makeup, so the eyelid becomes less oily, so your eyeshadow lasts longer. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not diagnosing, I'm not advising your routine. I'm advising your pre-makeup skincare routine for what that skincare will do for your skin that day under your makeup. And that's not to say a makeup artist is going to slap any old shit on your face and call it a day. No, we ask clients any allergies, anything you have reactions to, anything you used in the past that you loved, anything that you didn't like. There's investigation there. Your face is the artist's canvas. We want to work on a canvas that isn't burning. So just to clear it up, I'm not giving skincare advice when I talk about skincare. I am giving you pre-makeup skin prep advice. Prepping your skin for makeup. If you see any of my skincare videos, it's always like, this works great with makeup because. Does that make sense? Did I explain it okay? So I posted that in response to a comment that was left on another reel, and it was me talking about how I like what toners do to the skin before makeup. And like I say in that reel, whenever I talk to you about skincare, I am always only talking about the way it looks under makeup and if it has any long-term effects, right? Like an eye cream or something like this. Now, I am not my brother James, who a lot of people think are the same person, who creates skincare content, who is actually knowledgeable in the world of skincare. I am not. I know things. I know the results of things. Like, I know I like LED masks because they make my skin look nice. I know I like some serums because they make my skin look nice. But whenever I talk to you about skincare, I am always thinking about the way it sits under makeup, right? And that's not to say that the way skincare affects the skin isn't important under makeup. But as a makeup artist, you always have this like consultation period with your client to make sure that something you use, they don't have a reaction to, they aren't allergic to something. You always have minimally invasive skincare in your kit, right? Nothing that's going to treat the skin, no treatments, no vitamin C's. I don't like vitamin C's anyway because I don't like the way they react with some makeup. So there will always be neutral, I call it like neutral skincare. That's like, it will hydrate, it will moisturize, it will gently exfoliate, it's fine. And I will always try it on a client before the big day, if it be a wedding or something like that. But again, I'll talk to them. Is there skincare you prefer to use? Is there something you prefer to use? That's all sorted. You don't completely disregard skincare as a makeup artist, because in the long run, that's how, you know, the makeup is going to last the longest. So that was my point. I want to go through these comments from somebody, because it just goes to show that these people may not understand anything, but also the difference between a makeup artist, an esthetician, you know, a plastic surgeon, a cosmetic chemist, these kind of things. So these were the comments that were left on this video. Okay, I'm going to go through them one by one. They're honestly insane. Okay, if you can make sense of any of them, do let me know down below. Knowing what ingredients are and how they are going to react with a client and product is why it's advisable to go to esthetician school, at least to get knowledge of understanding. You learn that when you're learning makeup, so you don't need to become an esthetician to put skincare on someone, right? To get the knowledge and understanding. And that's true. You should know, as a makeup artist, the basics of what ingredients are going to do to the skin. True. Just because you use one combo of skincare with a specific foundation does not mean it will work exactly the same. It does not mean it will work exactly every time the same way. Very true. That's why you have a consultation with your client and you talk about the skincare and you talk about the foundation. Skin is organic and under massive changes in 24 hours. Sure, the client can be fine one time but break out from it the next time, if it's 1 day or 1 year later. Yes, that's a fluke event, right? You can't predict if somebody's using something and it works really well for their skin, if they suddenly have a breakout, that's an unpredictable thing. You should be Googling the ingredients. I wouldn't Google, I would go to someone professional. And looking up the definitions, at least if you're not going to go to school and learn what they are. The lipstick lesbians look up and know ingredients even though they aren't licensed. Jen Love does too. You really got to know what you're doing if you want to stay in the game here. I have already done the game for many years. About 20 years, and you don't have to know the in-depth everything of skincare as a makeup artist to put the skincare on clients, because you shouldn't be using something that is a treatment, right? So I wouldn't say to a client, I'm never going to diagnose a client with anything to do with their skin. Oh, you should do this more in the long run because of this. We are thinking about the skincare under your makeup that day. You do not buy a bulk of new skincare for every single client, right? Backstage at Fashion Week, same skincare on everyone. It's because it's plain or plain original flavor skincare. You know what I'm saying? So this person seems to be not understanding that, as, you know, when you're a makeup artist. I'm an aerospace engineer with biochemical engineering from 2005, San Jose State, licensed esthetician and cosmetologist, and 1 year away from graduation of dermatologist. Good for you. Okay, 1 second. Unfortunately, because men don't have female parts, it's all imaginary to them. Sorry, where did we go from the effects of skincare to female parts? Okay, well, let's hear what she has to say, right? The endocrine system is the brain, reproductive organs, all hormonal organs like thyroid, adrenaline, and pineal gland. These all affect the skin, and breakouts and something as easy as birth control being stopped causes massive cystic acne to 60% of the entire female population. I know it. I know that 100%. That's true. Um, and pre-period breakouts are something outside products don't fix. Yeah, true. But he doesn't know this. Yes, I do. Because he doesn't get a monthly reminder like females unfortunately do. Did you see his new video where he goes over ingredients after he says he doesn't care here? Nope. I don't go over ingredients. I think she's talking about my brother. Anyway, because I don't go over ingredients. Well, unless there are certain ingredients that I know are going to do something. Hyaluronic acid, for example, BHAs, AHAs, they all have effect on the skin before you do makeup. Now, I am very educated on the reproductive organs. You know, I do educate myself on that. Also, the way periods can affect the skin. I am super aware of the way birth control affects people's skin. Mainly because of my friends, but also because as a makeup artist, you get long-term clients, whether they are 17, 18, 19, 20, and it can affect your skin for most of your life. So I'm not quite sure where that came from in terms of what we're talking about. And by the way, none of these comments are in any kind of order. It is just one after one crazy response, right? Someone here said he literally looks at and tests how they work with various products. Yeah, makeup for skin prep is different to skincare for skincare. 100% true. Then our heathen here says he tests on himself. It doesn't count. I've been testing things on myself for 5-6 years. Before that, I'd done it for plenty of years. Do you know what anaphylactic shock is? He has no idea too, and neither of you will know what to do or have an EpiPen. I know what anaphylactic shock is. I don't know why she's suddenly assuming that I'm like this, completely like out of my mind. I don't know what's going on. But yes, you can get, for anyone who doesn't know what anaphylactic shock is, it's like a severe allergic reaction, which you can actually get from skincare. Very rarely, I've never experienced it through my career, but this is why, again, as a makeup artist, you do a consultation with your client. What I was saying to this esthetician that left that comment on my reel, I do not care how you think it is beneficial for the skin. I care how it's beneficial for makeup. That does not mean I don't care about the ingredients and I don't care about what's in it. I am going to ask my client, do you have any allergies? And I even mean food allergies, nuts especially. Even gluten. You can ask all these things because you need to know what you are putting on your client's face and if they are going to have a severe reaction or a minimal reaction. Are they allergic to latex? Are they allergic to silicones? And that's also when you have those conversations for minor reactions. What's your skincare routine? What did you like? What didn't you like? They may say, oh, I've had an allergic reaction to vitamin C. Okay, we'll stay away from vitamin C. I actually don't get on with hyaluronic acid. Okay, we'll stay. You know, there is a level, quite a deep level of interrogation. And I say interrogation because it is. You should do with your clients, right? So I'm not sure. This person responds to this heathen, we'll call them. It's literally part of the questions you ask before starting skin prep as a makeup artist. Yes, checking about allergies, food, yeah, or otherwise, products used at home, etc. Most makeup artists will do an in-depth consultation before anything goes on the skin. But then our heathen response is, are you an esthetician? Yes, you are a woman and know about these things having effects on us, but he is a guy. He has no idea what a period is. Or what ovaries do. Leslie, I'm going to use your name, but not your whole username. I know what a period is, and I know what ovaries do. I know how your period affects your skin. I know how the body affects the skin. Again, part of my job. He also is not dating one, so has no hands-on experience either. I'm going to get a little bit graphic here. I do not need to be hands all up in a vagina to know how your period is going to affect your makeup. Imagine if just for a minute somebody sat in my chair, I'm a makeup artist, a woman sits in my chair, I'm sorry, I can't work on you today because I have never explored a vagina. What has this got to do with makeup? What has this got to do with makeup application? Periods, yes. The way it affects the skin, yes. Birth control, yes. Ovaries, yes. He is not dating one. She means a woman by that, not an ovary. So he has no hands-on experience either. I do not need to be hands-on with your reproductive organs to be able to know how to do your makeup. This is wild. Then this person responded to him and says, no, I'm a makeup artist of 12 years and skin prep and care is part of a training. Yes, it is. It's a whole part of a training. And you are also a woman, she says in bold, that knows about women's bodies and what it does. He is / does not laugh my ass off. He has no ovaries to learn about. I'm a licensed cosmetologist and esthetician and aerospace engineer. Also, this person says, what's him being a man got to do with anything? He's been in this profession for over 20 years and is successful. Yes, I am. Thank you. Leslie, he doesn't know or ask about periods, ovaries, or miscarriages. Okay. Things that we get reminded of every freaking month. And he isn't 40, dear. He's like 35. I'm 37. Thank you, though. So try again. No one said I was 40. I started doing makeup when I was 18 years old. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. 20 years. He isn't going to be asking about breastfeeding, breast clarification, PCOD because he doesn't get them. Let's ask him together. Does he ask about all of this? Does he have a 3-page form with all of us in where they must initial each section before doing any skincare or makeup? That's a big fat no. Why on earth would I need to know before I put foundation on your skin, before I do eyeshadow, before I stick on lashes, whether or not you have had a miscarriage? Imagine you sit in someone's seat. Have you ever had your makeup done? Have you ever sat down as a makeup artist's chair and they've been like, okay, just fill me in. Have you had a miscarriage recently? No. Never in my life would I dream of asking someone that. That is disgusting. That is actually disgusting to ask someone those in-depth personal details for something as minuscule in comparison as makeup. And listen, I don't ask about periods. I won't ask about periods. I won't ask anything like that. But I get told, my client may sit on my chair and be like, oh, I'm having this breakout because I'm on my period. I'm like, okay, now I know what's going on with your skin. That's fine. A lot of the time I can guess from my experience, but it's also none of my fucking business. I do not also have to have a period myself to be able to do your makeup. And listen, just because I wear makeup, right, and I put on lashes, I talk about makeup, I am not a woman. I understand that, Leslie. I'm not claiming to be a woman or understand everything women have to go through with their bodies. However, what I do understand on the surface of that is skin and how skin works with makeup. Having somebody sit down and sign a 3-page form asking if they've had miscarriages, if they have ovaries, if they've had their period yet, before you do their makeup is insane. Mentally insane. Maybe if you were having some kind of operation, you know, something that was going to affect your body more than makeup, sure. But that's crazy. Being a newly trained makeup artist myself, this is a different user, I was never taught to ask about breast clarification or about their periods. If a customer is having hormonal problems with their skin, they will tell their makeup artist. Yes, that happens all the time. And then their makeup artist will be able to put whatever skin prep on. Leslie responds, they won't tell you because they are oblivious to the world. Trained makeup and licensed makeup artists are completely different, but should be studying the same thing. I am a trained makeup artist. What are you talking about? And you don't have to have a license to be a makeup artist in the UK. The human body. You should have a form for them to fill out with all allergies, which you didn't even mention. So not a pro at anything and shouldn't be practicing and should be learning new ingredients and allergies people have to them. Silicone is another famous ingredient in foundation nowadays. It is, that's true, yeah. And people do have allergies to silicone. It can kind of get like itchy, almost like a heat rash in terms of look, but it's quite itchy. And people are allergic to that, yes. What country are you in? USA requires a license for you for just makeup and a license for hairstyling. You can only do regular braiding like French braids, no heat, no curling irons, no hair products like hairspray or oil, no touching of the face at all. And that's in all 50 states. If you're in the UK, get some liability insurance, yeah, and a consent form, because the UK is crazy unregulated. Yeah, but we're not all suing each other. This person responds, I'm from the UK, I never said I didn't ask for allergies. All I'm saying is it doesn't matter if you're a male or female makeup artist, you still learn the same, you're taught the same. And then somebody says, and the homophobe enters the room. Wow, just wow, because this Leslie did say something a little bit strange. Um, they then respond with, I've wanted to be a boy since I was 4. You have no idea who or what you're talking to. Same goes for you, Leslie. So please don't. So please go back to your rock and crawl under it. I've tried to become a male, but my mum beat me several times when she found out. Like pulled out my hair and broke my main arteries in my humerus and both of my arms in 1 year. I was forced to wear turtlenecks in summer. Teachers did nothing. That's horrendous. That's absolutely horrendous. Look at his new vid where he goes over skincare and ingredients. I don't do that. So the videos after that is about how to put on false lashes. The next one is about how I feel like influencers should film in 4K. Then it is about a lip gloss. Then it's one where I'm in Korea. I'm talking about a thing, the Yopoda factory. Then it's about gua sha. Then I'm talking about a new product launch from a brand. Then I'm talking about new makeup releases. Then I'm talking about why do people put foundation on top of wet skin. Then I'm talking about fragrance, lip gloss, my opinion on what makeup artists say about primers, removing my makeup. I don't go into, within that time frame, I wouldn't have gone into ingredients. I think she's talking about my brother who talks about skincare ingredients and the effect they have on your skin in the long run, not how skincare reacts and performs for makeup, which is what I talk about. And she says something like, he thinks he's oily when he's actually dehydrated. No, I am oily and dehydrated. Oil and hydration, moisture are all different things. Aren't you an esthetician or whatever you said? He has no idea, or education. Yes, I've been trained, because he has no idea how to treat himself. What the fuck? Let alone he is a man with excess estrogen. So how is he going to be able to help your hormonal acne or your period? I can't help your hormonal acne or your period, and I don't claim to. If you go to a makeup artist and they claim they're going to help your hormonal acne or your period, that's not their job. Why would I claim to help somebody with their acne? How is he going to help you? How is he going to be able to help your hormonal acne or your period? Why would I help you with your period? Being oily in the zone doesn't mean oily eyes. I think she means T-zone, which is here, but a lot of people have oily eyes. I don't know what she's talking about. Skin prep needs pre-type and condition knowledge. Yes, very true. Endocrine system is what controls skin, but he's no info on it or about ovaries or uterus, which is linked to skin totally. That's true, they are linked to that, but I just need to know how your skin is doing that day or how it is in general. For makeup. I'm not trying to treat, diagnose, recommend skincare in any way. So it's more than what are you allergic to? Yeah, it's are you pregnant? Are you taking birth control? I am never going to ask women if they're pregnant or if they're taking birth control. Not at all. Not one bit. If I am doing your makeup that day, I can feel your skin and how your skin is that day. That's all I need to know. Did you stop birth control? Have you had a miscarriage? Do you have POCD? Have you ever had cysts on your ovaries, thyroid problems, emotional devastation, dead family member, miscarriage emotion, non-hormone changes, breakup, manic depression? Trying stuff in itself does fuck all for everyone else. I'm so confused. Why on earth would I need to know all of this? If you want to share that information with me, fine. Listen, makeup artists can also be your therapist at some times. As in listening, not giving advice. I am not going to ask a bride, for example, on her wedding day or the trial day. From feeling her skin, I feel someone's skin, I'm like, hey, we're dry here, we're oily here. I will ask, is this your normal skin texture? Have you used something on your skin that's changed your skin? We go through all these questions. I need to know how your skin is performing that day. I will use the simplest of skincare, no treatments, to help that skin texture. Then I will apply, thinking about the formulas and textures of that skincare, thinking about the formulas and textures of the makeup, how it's going to last, how long it's going to last. That's all I'm going to do. I am not a doctor, nothing like that. I will not dream of asking someone if they are pregnant, just straight off the bat. Say they're going to get married, right? And I do a trial with them at the beginning of a month and they're getting married a month later. If they are pregnant, that would be helpful to know because things do change within the skin. But then I can bring stuff as backup, you know what I mean? Imagine Do you have, okay, you're my client. Hello, would you like to take a seat? Just before we get into today, do you have any emotional devastation from dead family members? Because I just want to know, because I'm using quite like an oily foundation, so I just need to know about your childhood trauma. Have you had a breakup recently? Oh, and also, do you have manic depression? Because I will use a stronger eye primer. What are you on, Leslie? And I said like, and I just correct her. I was like, there's so much going on in your comments. I don't understand what you're saying. I have oily and dehydrated skin. She said, you must investigate condition too. Yeah, I do when I have my clients. Type and condition are the very first thing we have to learn in esthetician school. Yeah, the difference is completely different. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. You just said they weren't. But you can try to manage the other, you can't. And there's one thing you can actually change with simple stuff like prenatal vitamins. Yeah, but why are we suddenly talking about pregnant people? Or electrolytes, and the other is through products. Yes, but there are things that we can temporarily help the skin's condition for makeup. That's what we're talking about. But you have to know the difference to actually make a real change in their skin. I've had people cry because I figured out their internal prob with symptoms that doctors were given for years, and you can fix dehydration inside and can't stop getting oily altogether at the same time. Yeah, I never said you could. If you don't believe me, go see a natural diet specialist. No, thank you. They go to school for 10 plus years and have to take tests like doctors. You are not dry and oily and stuck with it. I never said I was. But I'm not trying to treat someone's skin condition. I'm using products to emulate a different skin type for a set period of time. You're basically taking away solutions and hope to people that won't go out to McDonald's because of their skin, and there's a $30 a month cure just waiting for them. What? I don't know what you're saying. You learn all body parts in men and women in esthetician school, so you can make that leap of condition and type to cure. But I'm not trying to cure anyone. If you are going to a makeup artist and they are trying to cure someone or something, that is not a great makeup artist to be at. There's never just a type that you are stuck with. As part of school, we had two beautiful women come in and had perfect skin as an 18-year-old and a 53-year-old that looked 30. Yeah, I say this all the time. I actually have a whole videos on it. We had to ask questions and figure out what made them balance and how. I'll give you one hint, it's not genetics. I don't know what you're talking about, Leslie. Leslie, all I'm talking about is trying to prep someone's skin for makeup. I said, wait, I'm sorry, what? I'm taking hope away from people? What do you think I'm saying in this video? I'm so confused what your point is. So that was the whole deal. I don't know what her issue was. I'm so confused as to what she thinks the role of just a makeup artist is. I don't know if she thinks that it is a makeup artist's job to diagnose skincare concerns, to know about all your personal business. If you are a makeup artist, and this lady Leslie, if you are doing people's makeup, and some of the first things you ask them when your client sits in your chair is if not they have had a miscarriage, if they are pregnant, if they have any childhood trauma, someone needs to arrest you. I'm sorry. It is insane. A makeup artist's job when it comes to skincare, if they are just doing their client's skincare, and that's if they are just doing their client's makeup and that is it, is to understand the client's allergies in terms of makeup and skincare. Understand anything their client has issues with. Understand the client's skin texture, their skincare routine, and any difficulties with their skin. You also need to know the ingredients of the skincare in your kit. And this is why you have a lot of just the same skincare for everyone in your kit. You have something with ingredients that are like minimally reactive to anyone's skin. No treatments, nothing that's gonna like perform treatments on the skin. Stay away from like severely active ingredients. You know, don't worry, we got it down. It's been a profession for many years. That is your job, to understand the client, your kit, the products you're using, the skin, and what you're doing that day. The climate that day, the lighting that day. It is far from a makeup artist's job to ask you if you have had a miscarriage. That is wild. This person, I'm sorry, should not be allowed near people if this is how they are treating their clients. And let me just say this to Leslie here. Listen, I understand that I am not a woman. I do not claim to be. I will never understand what it's like to be in a woman's body and experience the things that women experience. And to be quite frank, I don't want to. I've seen what my best friends have to go through. I don't want to do that. I could never. But I do not need that experience to be a makeup artist and understand someone's skin that day, the texture of their skin and how it's going to behave that day with makeup that I'm highly, highly trained and educated in, Leslie. I'm not a skincare specialist. I don't claim to be. I don't claim to know anything about skincare. I don't make skincare content unless it's tying into makeup. Please. I even say in the beginning of that reel, I'm not my brother. Anyway, those comments have just been so wild to me over the past however long it was. It's the one that's like, I have no experience with vaginas. Why would I need to experience a vagina to put foundation on you? All right. Well, thanks for that, everyone. Let me know your opinions down below, and I will see you very, very soon.